Okay, so our second little kind of example of logical functions and if functions is kind of a quality discount. Now, what we have here is that obvious, and you know, in most kind of industrial applications, the amount you pay is dependent on price. So the more you buy, then the cheaper it is, for obvious reasons. So here we have this. If you buy less than 1,000, you get charged $10. You buy over 1,000, between 1,001 and 5,000, you get charged $9. And if you buy over 5,000, you get charged $10. You get charged $7.50. Sorry. So we can actually model this using conditional statements. So let's just say we have a quantity. Let's not be fancy. Let's just have a quantity of 1,000 here, and we'll put in the total cost. So if my quantity, which is in cell B6, is less than or equal to 1,000, then we're going to charge $10, but not just $10, we're going to charge $10 times the quantity, B6. Okay. But if it's false, it means we've got over 1,000. So we're going to be either in row 3 or in row 4. So we're going to do if. Now we've been between row 3 and row 4, so let's split it up again. So for the false one, remember this is our true, so this is our false. We're now going to say if B6 is less than or equal to 5,000, i.e. we're in the second row, then this is going to be the quantity times 9. Okay, let's just do 9 times B6. But if it's false, it's going to be 7, which means it's going to be greater than 5,000. It's going to be 7.5 times B6. So we actually need two end brackets because we've got kind of two nested ifs here. And so we've got 1,000, then we're going to have a total cost of 10,000. But let's just see if we get 1,001. Then you see the cost drops because now we're being charged like $9 each. So let's just say we had 5,000. Then we actually have a total cost of 45,000, $9 each, but let's just go to 5,001. And it's $7.50 times 5,001, which is between $37.507. Now, just for something interesting, this isn't actually in the book, but like imagine if we had a scheme where regardless, your first 1,000 are charged $10, then anything you get above that between 1,001 and 5,000 is charged $9, and greater than anything over 5,000 is charged $7.50. But you would still be charged the previous amounts for up to 1,000 and up to 5,000. So it works a little bit like tax rates. So in tax rates, if we had a tax rate application, your first, say, $30,000 would be free of tax, state tax. Your next $10,000 may be charged at 5%. Your next $20,000 at 6%. Your next $30,000 at 7%. And then anything above that is charged at 10%, i.e. progressive tax rate. So let's just see if we can implement that. So we're first going to do, we're actually going to just look at each kind of row individually. So up to 1,000. And what we're going to do is say min, which is the function for the minimal, quantity, and 1,000. So that's basically all that's saying is it's going to be no more than 1,000. It's charged at $10 because once we get over 1,000, we're going to be charged less than $10. So we're going to be charged $10. So this is for the first 1,000. So if I have 1,000, it's $10,000. If I have 1,001, it's still $10,000 because we're only doing the first 1,000 at $10. So next, we're going to say plus. Now, this only applies if it's going to be greater than 1,000. So if B6 is greater than 1,000, then we're going to look at everything between 1,001 and 5,000. So we're actually not worried about the first 1,000 because we've already charged them in the first term. So we're going to do B6 again, which is our quantity, minus 1,000. But there's a maximum of 4,000 here because you see, if we go over the 4,000 in this range, then we're going to be in the next range. So we're going to say, again, we can't go over 4,000. And if we have an extra 4,000, which is so say B6 was 5,000, which made it 4,000, then that's kind of the maximum of our range. And then we multiply this by 9. And then the remainder is basically anything over 5,000. So we do if B6 is greater than 5,000, then it's going to be B6 minus 5,000. So it's everything over 5,000. And we have no upper bound this time. So this is actually simpler. We don't have to have another kind of conditional on the if. Or any sort of minimum. Then we can just do times 7.5. I made a minor. I don't know what minor error I made there. But anyway, that's the formula. So let's just see how that works. So if we've got 1,000 quantity, we get charged 10,000. So let's go to 1,001. Then you see if we had the standard pricing scheme, that would go, everything is charged in this band. But here the extras are just charged at $9. Now say we have 5,000. And again, standard band, everything is charged at $9. But here the first 1,000 is charged at $10 and then everything else is charged at $9. So that's literally why the first 1,000 we're being charged an extra dollar here, why it's 46,000. But now let's go to 5,001. You see this now drops as before, as we're all in this band. But if we go to 5,001, we go from 46,000 to 40,007.50, i.e. we've just been charged $7.50 for that 5,001st item. So this was just something I added. This wasn't in the book example, but it's just another example of how to use these conditional functions.